But what about night camp?
No, it was too scandalous to go to night camp.
Okay, like I know this is not a question to ask, but like, what were your parents afraid of?
Being gay.
Hello and welcome to Rewatching Home Movies, a weekly watch-along podcast where three friends break down the 1999 animated series Home Movies. My name is Tim, and I'm obsessed with home movies.
My name's Adele, and I'm a home movies newbie.
My name's Marcin, and I've never seen home movies.
Home Movies, Season 1, Episode 5, titled Yoko. Original air date May 24th, 1999 on UPN. Written by Brendan Small, Lauren Bouchard, H. John Benjamin, Paula Poundstone, Melissa Barden-Gowski. Produced and directed by Lauren Bouchard. Synopsis as per Home Movies Fandom Wiki. During a camping trip, Brendan meets Lonnie, and Jason and Melissa consider her the Yoko of the group. That's it.
I'm glad.
That's all they had.
I think I'm going to make this a trend of not looking at the title before we watch
I think
it.
that's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly think that's smart.
Yeah.
Because I thought it could have gone anywhere. I thought it was going to be like a Eugene episode. I was like,
Right.
who's that one guy that's like far off from the campfire?
So while doing research for this episode, it sometimes is referred to as, maybe this was a working title or original title, but it's sometimes referred to as We'll Always Have Tuesday.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, which is just kind of a play on the fact that it's,
Yeah, kind of a Casablanca.
Yeah, and, relationships in this age range usually do last the
A second.
handful of days.
Yeah.
What was the shortest relationship you've had?
I think like literally one day around this age where like a girl at the beginning of the day is like, do you want to go out with me? And you're like, okay. And at the end, she's like, well, I don't want to go out with you anymore.
My shortest was 5 years.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Zoinks.
Not even like one of those childlike, here's a note? No,
I'm a long-term relationship girly.
I had a night. It wasn't like a one-night stand. It was like, hey, I like you, and I like you too. And then she left the next morning because she was spending the night with my cousin, and she was in the other room, and like we like each other, and we should go out. My cousin Weston was like put on a blazer. He's like, he called me Hitch because I'm the love doctor. Because and then the next morning she left without saying anything because she was so embarrassed, and she texted me, broke up with me.
Oh, shit. Over text?
Yeah. It's just
That's
why it
rough.
happens.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oof.
Yeah.
Well, before we jump into this episode, why don't we jump into a little cozy spot called the Creative Corner, where we talk about
Okay.
something creative we're consuming, producing, creating, anything. Who wants to go first?
You went second both times.
I'll go first. I don't care.
Okay.
So I did a podcast, video games. I'm gonna do some music. I'm gonna do a music one. I don't know about you guys. When I'm doing like I guess work related stuff, when I'm preparing for this podcast, I guess I consider it work related. I have a hard time. I can't do podcasts while I'm trying to prepare something like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a really hard time with music. Maybe this is weird of me. Anything with lyrics. If it's got lyrics and I'm trying to, work on something creative, lyrics kind of fuck me up sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I find a lot of times when I'm working on stuff like this, I tend to listen to the artist Buckethead.
I don't
Because
think I've heard of Buckethead.
Buckethead,
Oh, shit.
if
dude.
you look up Buckethead's discography, I think in the year 2014 or 15 alone, he dropped like 10 albums. Easy. He's just like a machine who makes albums. He is the dude who plays with he used to be a KFC bucket on his head and then the white mask.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Yeah, look him up sometime. He's an amazing guitar player. He's played with like Les Claypool. He had a song, an album, Buckethead and Friends. This is probably like 06, 07, where it was like him with Serge from System of a Down. And because he doesn't talk, he doesn't sing, he doesn't do anything. So a lot of his albums are just purely him shredding on guitar. But then he'll put out albums like Coma or Electric Tears or Acoustic Shards, where it's very chill music and there's no lyrics, and it's just I love it so much. And it's something that I can throw on that is like nice background music, but it's it's not distracting me from what I'm doing.
Is it very ambient?
Some of it, yeah.
Yeah.
But and then some of it too, because I think Buckethead had a song on Guitar Hero 1 or 2. I think his song Jordan was on one of the Guitar Heroes. And it was one of his heavier songs. But he's just such a versatile artist. Look him up because he's humongous. He's got giant hands, so he can like one hand kind of up and down the fretboard. He'll like do that and bust out nunchucks and kind of like play with those. I've seen him live in Chicago. It was like
Really?
a smaller, more intimate venue.
Nice.
And I swear I paid like $15 for the ticket.
Holy shit.
This was probably in like 2004. So let's keep that in. It was $2,004.
Yeah.
2000. It's $2,004. Damn.
Yeah.
Dang.
But he's an amazing artist. A lot of his stuff is, you can see him online YouTube. Like he played with Guns N' Roses for a little while. He's played with a lot of like really big names, and he's just an amazing artist. Buckethead has been making music for, well, I mean, I remember being in high school and hearing Buckethead, and for me that was approximately 100 years ago. He's been making music for a really, really long time.
Yeah.
So if you look up Buckethead, you can find his like more chill albums, you can find his heavier stuff, but whatever your kind of taste in music is, I'm sure you can find something in Buckethead's discography, which at this point is probably like 30, 40 albums deep, that is to your liking. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard of Buckethead until I started dating Tim. And there are some, like, when he was saying there's, like, some super chill songs, like, I want to make a playlist for work for when I'm doing, like, facials and stuff.
Yeah.
And I want to put those Buckethead songs on that playlist because it's so, like, it just puts you somewhere else. It's, like, next level guitar playing.
I'll definitely look them up because I really like ambient tracks, and just like you said, lyrics fuck you up sometimes, especially if I'm trying to sleep. Do you think there's like sleepy time?
yeah, I'll play you some Buckethead tonight. That is
Oh hell yeah.
Listen to Hers and Buckethead.
Dude, I love. I'm not gonna. That's not my. But dude, the second you said that, I was like ready to talk about Hers again.
But so that's mine for this week. So
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I'll
let's
go
next.
I'll go second for that one.
Okay.
Because what you were saying about $15 for a show in Chicago, because I'm living up there now. I want to go to more concerts. I want to go to more shows. I love going to the Green Mill every set. I try to go as many Saturdays as I can because they do a free show called the Paper Machete, and I love the Paper Machete because it's like a newspaper. There's a day in the life of everything. Chad the puppet goes, and it's a bunch of comedians come up there. The one comedian, keep forgetting her name, but she does a great Sarah Huckabee impression. I love her so much.
We went.
It was a
with you
good
once.
time.
It was such a good time,
Yeah.
and I keep seeing comedians that I've worked with post about doing spots there, and I'm extremely jealous.
Yeah, no. Have you ever looked up into like sending a message and being like,
I need to find out who I can send a clip to.
Yeah. Next time we go up there, I'll ask around because I love the Green Mill, and it's such a like. I love the Daily Show-esque vibe of
Yeah.
it, where it's
Yes.
like making fun of the news, and you feel like finally there's some human beings here who understand how stupid this is right now.
Right. On top of it being free, like that is hard to find. They have like good entertainment that you can go to weekly and not have to pay a fucking dime unless you're like donating.
And it's beautiful. It's just a fun atmosphere. I enjoy every aspect of it, especially how it's free. It's
Yeah.
jazz. It's great.
Yeah. Plus the Saturday afternoon aspect of it. Like
Yeah.
you do that and then it's done and you still have your whole evening.
Oh yeah.
I've met some really great musicians through it and found some really awesome stuff that have kept me going everywhere. I even messaged Puddle Noir, who's helping make some of the soundtracks for Season of the Cursed, and he's my favorite local artist. If you want to talk about ambient tracks, he's a shoegaze artist. I love him so much. My favorite song of all time, Sun Chaser, he's letting us use for the movie. Love Puddle Noir, but I was like, listen, man, if you ever want to come do a show, I know where a great place you would do a fantastic just vibe, audience, everything. Please go to the Green Mill. And he's looking into it. He's not doing tours yet, but like I love the Green Mill. That's my creative corner.
Yes.
If anyone in Chicago, go to the Green Mill. It's free. It's a great thing.
Yeah.
If you do donate money, because they do take donations, they have a private Patreon podcast that they do with the guests every week, and
nice.
it's been going since 2014
That's
or whenever
awesome.
they started it. So that's mine.
It's such a great indie show vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I 100% back that recommendation.
I love Paper
We gotta
Machete.
go back.
Yeah.
I would love for you guys to come up. Maybe we can take a train or something.
Oh, yeah.
Because driving in the city is fucking wild sometimes.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Lakeshore Drive, but it's dangerous.
So mine, if we're going to segue to me, mine's actually from my childhood. I'm a sucker for fairy tales. And this is like before Harry Potter, all that stuff. I forced Marcin to watch it one time. And
Yes.
and when Tim and I first started talking, he he knew instantly what I was talking about. And he's the only person that I've brought it up to who has ever known what I'm talking about. And that's why I fell in love with him for multiple reasons. But that was like a sign. I was like, oh, we're meant to be together. Anyway, it's called The 10th Kingdom. It's a mini series from 1999. It is all together. You can probably knock it out in like 6 or 7 hours. And it is... Every time I watch it, I feel so nostalgic. If I'm like in a bad mood, I'll put that shit on. I instantly feel better. The intro, I will listen to the intro till the day I die. It's such a fucking banger.
It's your Twin Peaks.
Yes, it's my Twin Peaks. Yep, it had like the first time I was ever like had a crush on like a grown man.
Was it the werewolf?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Wolf.
Yeah, it was
the
wolf.
the first time that was like my sexual awakening. Like it is with me for the rest of my life. It is a good miniseries.
There are moments from my childhood where, like, you know, when you're a kid and there's just like little type of fragments of like images that you remember from stuff, and you're like, what was that? Where did that come from? There's so many fragments in my mind of like I'm still searching for those little things of like I watched it for a brief second. Did I dream it? Whatever. When you showed me the 10th Kingdom, and it came to Al Bundy dressed as an oracle.
Ed O'Neill.
Yeah,
Yep.
the Elf King. Yep.
Yeah, and through the mirror, it clicked in my head. I was like, that's the thing!
Hell yeah.
It's been in my head for years, and I finally see it in the 10th Kingdom. I was like, finally, thank you so much. You solved a puzzle for me.
You're welcome.
It was great.
Solidified our friendship that day.
Yeah. I want to actually watch through the entire thing, even though you told me about that they didn't really...
Yeah, it's definitely one of those heartbreaking series where at the end they set it up for a second season and then they never finished it.
Yeah. It is your Twin Peaks.
So yeah, it's something that will haunt me but also comfort me to the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. In the early-ish mid-2000s, I worked at a year-round costume shop. And we had a bunch of different VHSs that we would play. Buffy was definitely one of them, and then musicals and stuff like that.
Nice.
But 10th Kingdom was one of them.
Hell yeah.
So they watched that like on a loop. I went to see one of the Harry Potter movies with that group, and we were all dressed as Death Eaters, and we got yelled at for wearing masks. So.
What?
Yeah, we had to take them.
Killjoys.
But we didn't. We refused to take our robes off.
What movie? Which one?
It was. What's the first one? Is the Goblet of Fire the first one where you actually see Death Eaters?
Yes.
No, I thought it was the third one.
The third one is The Prisoner of Azkaban.
Oh, Death Eater. Sorry, I was mixing it up with Dementors.
Dementors.
The Dementor.
Get your shit together.
Okay.
No, just kidding.
You're right. You're right. I need to reread them.
No, it's all good. I remember those days. But yeah, 10th Kingdom was on a loop.
Dang, it makes me want to watch it again. I haven't watched it.
We should.
Go back.
Yeah.
After we do this, that'll be your season.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Twin Peaks is next, I feel.
I can't do that to you guys. I want to, and I would,
It'd be such different audiences.
Yeah.
Jumping from home movies to Twin Peaks. That might be a little
I just assumed
too
we would like keep it in like the animation.
Adult Swim. Because I'd probably do Moral Oral because I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
I've always, especially with our religious trauma, like I feel like that'd be our bread and butter.
Mm-hmm. I think it'd do great for us.
It would heal so much.
Or it would traumatize us further.
Yeah. And we're open for suggestions.
Except for
put that out there.
Yeah, I don't think I can watch Xavier Renegade Angel.
I get that.
Yeah.
That's not for everybody. I feel like I tried to show Adele one episode of that and it just did not.
Of which one?
It's called Xavier Renegade Angel.
He's got
the weird guy with
hands.
like the snake hand and the beak, and he said really weird shit.
Oh yes, I do recall. It reminded me of like old internet, like Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life.
Very much yes.
Yeah.
Very much yes. Hey, speaking of old internet, we got a episode of Home Movies we can jump into.
Oh shit.
Season 1, episode 5, guys. We made it. This is technically for like 2 years. This was the season 1 finale. This is the last of the UPN 5. So this was what they cut it out at the end. This is the last we hear Paula Poundstone as Paula Small.
Did they go out with a bang?
With Paula?
No, with the episode. Was this a good episode? I'm kind of keeping for the last.
That's a very good question. Yeah. And if you'll notice, and you even made a comment, you're like, yeah, a lot of the episodes just like eyeballs in the dark. Yeah, because they were crunching very hard and had very little budget and time left. And we're like, hey, if we could make like a third of this episode in the dark, that would be that would save us a lot of money.
It was a very good idea, actually. I looked at that. I was like, is there a way for me to just do mine and Nate's eyeballs for some scenes?
Yeah,
that'll do some good shit.
If you're doing a lot of animation and you get tired, oh my gosh, the lights turned off, and now we're just
right.
a couple of eyeballs. So yeah, let's jump into it. We open this episode. We are on a camping trip, okay, with Coach McGurk and 4 random kids.
And they all gave him money.
Yeah. They do. Okay, I believe they are all on the soccer team, so I guess that checks out. But to let a soccer coach take 4 random kids to a camp, that I don't know. Just the whole thing from the get-go, I'm like, okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
I mean,
I understand they got to set it up for the episode.
Did you guys ever go camping as kids?
No, I was only allowed to go to day camp, so like I could never like.
But what about night camp?
No, it was too scandalous to go to night camp.
Okay, like I know this is not a question to ask, but like, what were your parents afraid of?
Being gay.
Same. I don't
Oops.
know. I wanted to just point out real quick if you want to show the very opening shot, because like the second it opened up onto the like night sky, I was like, oh, that's such a good shot.
Yeah.
And then I thought about it, and I was like, why do I think that's a nice shot? And I realized, and here you go.
Oh yeah, it's essentially yeah.
Yeah, it's the pieces of Puzzle Valley.
Yeah.
I was like, son of a bitch.
Did we mentioned how they give him money?
Yeah,
So we start, and Lonnie, the character Lonnie, voiced by Laura Silverman, who is Sarah Silverman's sister, is asking like, "Hey, are we going to cook marshmallows? Are we going to have s'mores? Like, what's going on?" And Coach is like, "No, didn't you guys didn't bring food?" And I was like, "No, you didn't tell us to bring food." And then at one point, yeah, I think it's Lonnie is like, "Well, what do we do with this $20 that we had, we had to get?" So Coach takes 20 from everybody. I don't know if you guys noticed this. On the $20 bill is Dr. Katz.
I didn't notice that.
Oh.
Nice.
So it's a nice little nod. That's on all the 20s. So Dr. Katz is on the 20. McGurk takes all their 20s.
Yeah.
Still doesn't have, all he has is sliced turkey,
Yeah.
which he throws everyone. Brendan's lands on his nose. So it's like hanging there. Lonnie's lands on the ground.
Oh. I did do a quick Google search. $20 in 1999 was almost the equivalent of $40.
Yep.
That sounds right.
That
Yeah.
sound. I shouldn't say that on this podcast, but yes, I don't like that.
Yep.
I don't like that.
Also, when you said like, did you see on the $20? I thought you were going to say Harriet Tubman. I was like,
No. So McGurk takes all their money, of course. Lonnie is like, well, okay, I'm scared. And Coach is like, well, yeah, that's camping. You should be scared. That is what camping is. Camping is being scared a little bit.
he's not wrong. When I was in Cub Scouts, I was terrified because in the middle of the night, I woke up and there was a shadow on the tent, and I thought it was Bigfoot. And I didn't go to sleep until the morning when I realized it was somebody's coat. It's terrifying out in those woods. It's terrifying. I don't like camping.
I did a little like camping thing with a bunch of friends like right out of high school. Mm-hmm. It was actually not too far from here. And it was a fun time. We had a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. But we were also like, 19 and drinking.
And not thinking about Bigfoot.
Shit.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll do glamping with like an RV. That's the kind of camping I'll do.
That's real fun. I wouldn't mind going camping, but I know it's a fucking mess. Like you peeing in the woods and,
If you have an RV, you got a toilet in the RV.
Exactly. And then you have to cook things on a campfire. And then I don't think I could go camping in an actual forest unless someone brings a gun, because I grew up in Kentucky and bobcats and
wild animals. They just found a bobcat around where we live.
Yeah, that's actually where we were camping.
Yeah.
Was that town? Yeah.
That shit.
That's where I grew up.
Bobcats are small, but they will slice you up.
Oh,
they will
fuck you up.
Yeah. So.
Next scene, Brendan and Eugene, Complete Darkness. So we're already in the animation of Complete Darkness, only eyeballs. They admit on the DVD commentary it was to save time and money since they were on a minimal budget and always crunching. So Eugene is voiced by Eugene Merman, who does the voice of Eugene on Bob's Burgers. Eugene was roommates with Brendan Small. They were like doing comedy together and stuff like that. Eugene was a very big comedian. Brendan, not as much. So when Brendan got the call about doing home movies for UPN, Eugene is like, wait, you want to talk to Brendan? Not me. No. Oh, okay. Like, whatever. So, but
Was he jealous?
I don't think he was super jealous. It was just more of like a surprise more than anything. But, he got to come on and Eugene is a reoccurring character.
Okay. I did put Eugene is scary when I saw him. Especially, he was so far away from the campfire for no reason. I don't know what that was about.
Duh.
I just think of Eddie doing his
Yeah.
in the Puzzle Valley.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Hell yeah. So it's Eugene and Brendan, complete darkness, only eyeballs. Eugene stole Coach McGurk's canteen, and he's going to pee into it to impress Lonnie. Okay. He tells Brendan it is practically joke. Practically. Brendan calls Eugene a freak. And that's when the coach comes in, tells everyone to go to bed. So then the next scene is Coach drinking out of his canteen, spits it out almost immediately, wakes up all the children, and immediately, all right, who peed in Coach's canteen? And they're like, how did you know what it is? And he's like, because I drank it. And they're like, how did you identify it so quickly?
Because I drank it before.
Yeah. And they're just very like, but that's not even the point.
I would be, lights are on. All right, everyone out of their sleeping bags.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
I think he was very right. He was in the right there at that point.
Yeah.
But you know what? To Brendan's credit, he does not narc on Eugene. He doesn't say anything. You know, Coach is like, somebody admit it or else you're all going to get punished. Mm-hmm. Almost immediately, Lonnie is like, the punishment should be we get to go home.
Yeah, we should go home.
And of course, Coach turns that around to like, no, that's your punishment is you're staying here and I'm leaving. You know?
I noticed Melissa had a face mask on, so
Yeah.
respect.
Yeah.
Love that.
Well,
Like skincare.
So there is a scene
Oh.
where the four kids are standing there. McGurk is shining the flashlight. And it's
yeah.
just a quick flashlight that goes, and Melissa's got like the green face mask
Yeah.
on. Like
okay.
So Melissa's take a little self-care.
You said face mask, and so in a post-pandemic world, I was like,
Yeah.
I really was just sitting there going, Lonnie, why is she familiar? And then I remembered she showed up a little bit, and you said, oh, that's going to be a recurring character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I said, was it this one? No, it was episode 3. I put theory, Brendan likes Lonnie, ?
Oh, shit.
Nice
You
theory.
nailed it, man.
So we see Lonnie when Brendan is doing his like half-ass presentation. And what was that, like episode 2?
Yeah.
And then, we see her again at Shannon's party.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a character they've used in the past, but she has speaking lines. She's voiced by Laura Silverman, which funny enough, Laura Silverman does come back later to voice a different
Interesting.
Yes.
That's interesting.
So there is that. So the following scene, it's the 4 kids in complete darkness still. Brendan says he's going to talk to the coach, asks if anyone wants to come with. Brendan, like, in front of the other kids, will call out Eugene. You know, I know you did this, Eugene. And they're like, did you see him do it? He's like, no, I heard him do it. And he narrated it. Like, and then Lonnie is like, well, he has diplomatic immunity, which, you know.
I did very much like that joke.
And that it was Melissa's idea to say, well, let's just say, hey, it was Eugene. And, you know, he didn't know any better because in Russia, people drink pee all the time.
Eugene's like, we don't drink beer.
We do not drink. We do not. Yeah. He gets very defensive on that. So Brendan goes to talk to Coach. You know, Coach is packing his stuff. And Brendan's like, you can't go. And Coach is like, obviously, I'm not going to go. He, again, like tells Brendan, like, I know, you know who did it. Just fess up. And Brendan's like, do I look like a rat to you? Coach, are you looking at me?
I thought he was gonna rat him out, to be honest. Especially when Lonnie was like, just tell him Eugene. And I think we both had a very similar reaction when the coach was like,
Yeah.
I can't, you know, just leave these kids in the forest. I'll go to jail again. I'll get in trouble and I'll
Back
go
to jail.
Like, what the fuck?
Yup.
I just wonder if that's like going to come up in the future, like what he went to jail for.
Oh,
Tim's face tells me
Maybe.
there might be an
Maybe.
episode.
I like the idea
about
that the threads start coming together.
Yeah.
That's the wildest stuff when you start making a story versus improv, and then you take all the things that you said, and now it becomes a thing later on.
Yeah.
I love that in improv, especially in storytelling.
Brendan tells Coach to eat some turkey to get the taste of pee out of his mouth. And Coach is like, everything tastes like pee. It tastes like pea turkey.
I love how Brendan's trying to console him. It's like, it's okay. Just eat something. He's like, I can't. Just talking him down. I'm starting to like the relationship between Brendan and the coach.
And Coach, yeah. Yeah, because Brendan Small, the person, and H. John Benjamin, you know, had that charisma when they started, you know, that definitely
Helps.
yeah. And it's something that, because I think I mentioned it before, Coach wasn't only supposed to be in like one episode. He wasn't supposed to be such a reoccurring character.
Which is wild to me. There wasn't very much of Jason this episode.
No,
not a whole lot. When they were making the movie, yeah. But so it took me a while to realize Jason is not on the soccer team.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah. It took me a very long time to remember that. And it's actually an episode down the line where like Jason and Coach McGurk like are introduced. And I'm like, oh yeah. They're not.
When they brought in Eugene, I was like, why are they bringing in another gross character? Like, just make Jason do the piss if that's what you're going to do.
Okay. So after that, we have a scene where Lonnie goes to talk to Brendan, still in complete darkness. She tells him that he was actually pretty great back there. He could be a hostage negotiator, she tells him. It was really cool that he didn't narc out Eugene. Brendan weirdly is like, oh, where's Melissa? And she's like, oh, do you like
her?
Do you like her? And he's like, no. And she gives him the like, well, I know someone who might like you. So, kind of laying the groundwork that Lonnie might be a little impressed by Brendan, have a little crush.
I just showed Adele, but like in my notes at that point, because I had the theory a couple episodes back, I put Lonnie likes Brendan! Exclamation point, exclamation point.
You sniffed it out.
Yeah.
I know. Well, it was mostly just him going like, she might come back later. And I was like, let me look at those frog eyes. Lonnie's got some frog eyes.
She got big old eyes.
That's okay. So while they're talking, Coach interrupts them and tells them both to go to bed, and then asks if any of them brought toothpaste. So what did he... my guess is he brought sliced turkey and beer.
Yeah.
And a canteen he bought, like, on the way.
That sounds like a Cub Scout master I know.
Yeah.
Which one of your kids brought money? I love how they're having these, like, private conversations, and then the coach keeps popping up because he's in the tent with them.
So wait, it's all just one big tent?
I think he has his own, but, like, you don't see the tent opening.
Yeah. It's all just, like, eyeballs popping in.
Yeah.
Which was the animation style at the time. So the next scene, it's the following morning, and Paula is asking Brendan if he got a chance to talk to Lonnie on the camping trip. And Brendan said yes, very cryptically. And he doesn't know what to do. And Brendan, and she recommends, talk to her. And Brendan is baffled yet intrigued by this concept.
Talk to her. Eh? That's a good idea.
So we're at soccer practice. Is it? Actually, no, I think it is a game. Because Coach yells at some point to get in the game. Mm-hmm. Brendan and Lonnie are just like in the middle of a soccer game, just standing next to each other talking. Lonnie confesses that she's never really... Brendan is telling Lonnie that, I never really... I didn't think you noticed me or whatever. And she's like, yeah, I never really looked at you before, but when I did, it was like either because you were so pale or bad at soccer. And then she made the comment, it's like, yeah, when my mom says it's not whether you win or lose, it's how hard you try, it makes me think of you.
Such a backhanded compliment.
When she said that was, I reached for my heart because it hurt.
Brendan kind of laughs it off. He's like, oh, tell your mom I said thank you. And that's when Coach yells at him to get in the game. He goes off on a rant like, oh, am I coaching soccer or I'm not teaching public speaking. And then, Brendan does that. Hey, Coach, can you keep it down? I'm trying to speak.
All you do is public speaking.
Now we are in the place where the movie magic happens in Brendan's basement.
That opened up so weirdly in that scene.
Where Lonnie's tied in a chair and Chase is just like...
I abducted her.
Yeah.
I didn't, and I saw the camera too, and for a split second I was like, this is a bad scene.
As Jason points out, he abducted her, so he's playing the bad guy. Lonnie is tied up, so she's playing the damsel in distress. And then Brendan is playing the detective. Melissa asks what she is doing, and Brendan hands her the camera. And he says, filming. Melissa says, I'm not in this scene. And Brendan kind of looks around, giving me the idea, like, no, you're not in this movie.
Poor Melissa.
We need the one woman. We can't have any more women in this movie. Only one.
We have a quote at a film.
That was a good David Lynch impression.
Oh, thank you. I was going to try.
So I saw the look on Marson's face when Lonnie calls over Brendan and reminds him to tell Jason not to actually touch her while Jason is knuckle deep picking his nose.
Yeah, that's a good one. That was just like, even the animators know his character now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think H. John Benjamin was like, make sure he's picking his nose.
Well, I think they just needed to hit home the fact that Lonnie doesn't want him to touch
That's true.
her.
But I don't want to see him do it.
So we see the clapboard. It's take one. The scene plays out well for the most part, except Lonnie continuously screams help at the wrong time. She keeps coming in early with her screams. They keep, no, after this part, you're too early. You see take 8, and Brendan and Jason are about to fight. Lonnie screams too early again. We're at take 47, screams too early again. So now the clipboard says a short break.
Brendan's got bad direction in this scene.
We cut between Brendan talking to Lonnie and then Jason and Melissa talking. Brendan's trying to be encouraging to Lonnie, but Jason and Melissa are very upset.
I like how she was like, they hate me. And they're like, Brendan's like, they don't hate you. And Jason's like, I hate her.
Yeah.
I hate her.
Jason's classic line of, I know she's your friend, but we're not here to make friends. We're here to make movies.
Classic.
That's a classic line. Is
classic as of right now. Yeah. Oh, man.
I liked his line where he says, the real losers are the public because they have to deal with this.
Yeah. They see the product and the product isn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's making a lot of sense this episode.
He actually is making some pretty good points.
I disagree with him on the first one, actually. Like, we're not here to make friends, we're here to make movies. I'm like, every time I try to make any project, I want the crew to be my friend. I like that.
That's true.
I think that's the best way to make a good product is for everybody to get along and to feel like they're supported. And I definitely, when Brenda did that comment in the first one where she screamed, she's like, you're not coming in. Like, it was just so, I know it's a fucking good cartoon that's like funny, but it was like bad direction, Brandon, don't do this.
Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go.
Oh, Melissa's line when Lonnie was talking, and she's like, why don't you study your lines?
Yeah, she's like, why don't you tell me so I know what to do? And Melissa's like, why don't you study your lines, Yoko?
She was real pissed at
the
that.
titular Yoko.
Melissa did that.
What a deep-seated fear every woman has, being a Yoko.
Is that a thing?
Well, that's my fear.
Do you understand like the reference of Yoko?
Yeah.
Like
The
Yoko
Beatles.
Ono and John. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a gendered thing, but the whole idea of a Yoko is something that I hate because a lot of my friends don't have the best taste in partners, and then they'll bring them around and then just completely, it's not even just like a man-woman thing. Like, I don't want to name them, but our mutual friend had a partner who no one liked and kept trying to bring that around. And so it's not a good time. You got to feel the right chemistry in the right room. Otherwise the mood is just ruined.
Yeah.
I don't think Lonnie even wanted to be in the movie.
That's why she kept screaming. Just trying to sabotage herself.
I mean, that's kind of fair to the opening scene where she's like, we should go home. We should go home. Yeah. That's what she was doing to get out of there.
So the next day, we're at the school, right? Establishing shot, we have a tree. I don't know if you guys caught this.
I did.
There's a tree with an L plus M.
I wrote it down right there.
We have Mitch from 5th grade confronting Brendan. Mitch is voiced by Mitch Hedberg. So apparently, they had him for like a day or two. And so they got him a little bit for the last episode. Brendan gets rabies. And then they had him for this one mainly to play Mitch. Mitch, the 5th grader. So Mitch heard through the grapevine that Brendan and Lonnie are a thing. Brendan it very much denies it. Nope, I don't know what you're talking about. Mitch is like, Brendan, there's only one thing you can do. You got to break up with her before she can break up with you. And then Brendan calls him out like, hey, you're coming here. You're talking about someone I'm semi-involved with. And Mitch is like, whoa. Now suddenly the word semi is involved.
You're changing up the story on me.
Yeah. And Brendan even says like, well, how do I know you're not just telling me this to get me to break up so you can go back out with her? And Mitch is like, well, what kind of hypocrite would I be if I didn't follow my own advice? And Brendan's, well, I don't know. I'm thinking, what kind of hypocrite? And he's like, semi.
Very, very good back and forth on that.
I love
Yeah.
Mitch Hedberg.
That
man.
was such a good point on the end of that. A good improv.
Yeah. We have a quick scene. The next one is the referee is talking to Coach McGurk. He calls him pee-pee breath. Pee-pee breath. And, Coach is like, oh, you heard about that? We see two kids run by and yell, pee-pee breath.
I wrote down the background characters are my nightmares.
Yeah.
Because they're just running and then they just turn. They look terrifying.
Yeah. They looked at it. Pee-pee breath. Coach tells the referee, right? He's like, I think it was Eugene. He thinks that he really does think it was Eugene. So now we're back in school. Brendan is confronting Lonnie about dating Mitch. She's like, yeah, we dated a long time ago. And when asked how long, it was a week ago Tuesday. Brendan asked why they broke up. There was a lot of things that it didn't work out. They had lunch at a different time, recess at a different time. The
classic reasons.
The
to break
huge
up with
factors
someone.
that go into relationships at 7, 8,
Long
9 years
distance.
old. Yeah.
Long distance.
I wrote, during that scene, Lonnie likes Mitch, ... frowny face.
When Brendan asked Lonnie if she still likes Mitch, she says no, but she's looking up and to the left while she's doing that, which is allegedly like a classic sign of someone lying.
When you're looking away from someone, like that idea, like, no.
And then, like, a slew of, like, did he run into you? Did you run into him? Did you say something? Did he say something? Did he say I like him? Did he say, And then literally asks a slew of questions, and then it's like, okay, Ben, bye. Like, takes off. So now Brendan's talking to Coach McGurk.
Ah, yes.
He asked coaches, like, did you ask if she still likes Mitch? Said she denied it, but denied it a little too quick. He asked how long he's been seeing this girl, and Brendan says 2 days. He said, how long did you see the other guy? It was 4 days. When was this? Last week? And coach is like, yeah, time moves fast when you're young. Given the fact that McGurk has experience with women that, from all around the world, he's been all over the world except for Europe and Asia and South America and just naming all the places he hasn't been. But he says women are a complicated bunch. They're like grapes. And that's all he has.
I feel that.
That's all he can think of.
Do you have a way to explain that, or do you just feel that? Is it
Because
just
we're juicy and delicious.
Oh, okay. You said that.
I did say that. I did say it. Yep, it was me.
I want to put a list of the coach's quotes together of like specific advice he gives Brendan and analogies, because we have their like grapes. And then,
women are like men?
Yeah.
yeah, that one.
But men are not like women.
No.
And it kind of makes sense to me. And I got I'm going to fucking make a video essay out of that when I figure it out.
I need to see it.
Yeah.
But I really like his quotes. And how quick is the next? I'm not sure. What's the next scene?
We just have two very quick scenes where Brendan talks to both his mom and Melissa.
Yeah, it was really quick. I was trying to like, she wasn't really saying anything, and well, she was saying something, but Brendan was ignoring her the whole time.
I feel like they were talking and then it just kind of faded into a conversation. So it was Brendan and his mom talking and faded in conversation of Brendan and Melissa. And essentially the conclusion he comes up with is he's going to break up with her. Melissa says you can break up with her without breaking her heart. And so Brendan's like, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. And I think this is the first time we saw the mom like actually being a little bit strict and motherly in that. It was like, you are supposed to go to school.
Yeah.
You don't need to mess with women.
Yeah, basically pointing out like he's a kid. You got to worry about your homework. You got to worry about soccer. Like, yeah.
And then
a little
weird in this, because in the stereotypical thing with like mother, son, father, like son things in cartoons is, I don't need this advice, but he actually listens to her.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty cool.
I think he does consider Melissa a good friend. He does love his mom. His mom is supportive, and they both gave him pretty similar advice. And I think he's like, okay, I think this is what I have to do.
I have a speculation. Does Melissa like Brendan?
I don't think that ever comes.
They're just strictly platonic?
I think they're very close friends.
Yeah, I like that.
I really like that.
Yeah.
I really like that.
With having to like push a romantic relationship on their friendship.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah.
I think that's a really, because I've been worried about the same thing. I thought it was going to go down that same route.
Yeah. Especially because she just did not like her so much. I'm like, oh no, but I think she just didn't like her because she fucked up their filming.
Or like pushed her out of her, like.
Yeah.
Like,
took her whole spot.
it was, it's like, am I not even your friend? Like, am I just like this
person
Yeah.
to kind of move around for what you want?
A prop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I think that's definitely more where she was coming from, where Melissa was coming from. Of like, you know, you're taking my place, not.
you're
I don't
taking
think
my man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Good,
Now, my
yeah.
question is, does Jason like Brendan?
Jason like
Brendan.
Brendan?
Yeah.
Like as a crush?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But you were close to something there.
Spoilers.
The mystery.
The mystery. Moving on. So Brendan approaches Lonnie, who's weirdly enough, sitting in front of that tree with the L+M carved into it.
There was two different carvings on that tree in that shot.
I think it was.
I
just the
thought that
L+M.
too, but the way it's blocked, it is just the first one. It just looks like there's multiple initials because her head is in front of it.
Oh, okay,
when I
that's
first
fair.
watched that, I was like, "Is there another set of initials?" On
I thought
there?
that was a fun little gag.
Yeah,
of
like he's
Lonnie.
already moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was the L&M. Brendan starts talking to Lonnie, and Lonnie kind of interrupts him and then proceeds to break up with him.
Can we go to that clip? You don't have to play the clip, but to just show at least the image, because I've been in this situation.
Yeah.
With the two friends.
The two friends
Yeah,
are there
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
like back her up. It's
Yeah.
so intimidating.
I had that same thought. I
And
was
then
like,
also speaking to what you were saying earlier, it's still the L+M. This is part of the arrow.
yeah.
This is part of the arrow, the back of it, and then the point of it.
Okay, that's fair. But like,
There's a
the fucking stink eye she's giving,
Yes.
and then like the scowl, the other, like, oh my, that is such a like. I am not allowed to do anything in this situation. Oh, it's scary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're really, really outnumbered in that situation.
It's so scary.
So
He brought the backup.
yeah, and that seemed to be the case most of the time. Like, yeah, Lonnie had the two friends as backup, like pulling her away. So Lonnie proceeds to break up with him, and it catches Brendan off guard. It's one of those weird things where he was going to do it anyway, but because she did. So Melissa confronts Brendan, and Brendan's like amazed she's already heard, but she's like, yeah, I heard. Like, she broke up with you. You started to cry. She's dating Mitch. And he's like, whoa, wait, what? I didn't
Hold on a
cry.
second. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's like, okay, on top of that, okay, I didn't cry. But wait, now she's dating Mitch again? And Melissa's like, yeah, that was the whole thing. She broke up with you. You started to cry. It's dating Mitch. Like, that's what happened. Brendan is very upset. He tells Melissa's like, so do I have my rollback? And Brendan's like, yeah, you've got your rollback, Melissa. Are you happy? And she's like, yeah, I'm very happy.
I'm actually
huge
very
smile
happy.
on her face. She's so happy.
Also, I would put Melissa's side profile is wild.
I don't even know what that. Can we pull that up? I don't think I saw it.
It really was so jarring when I saw it. I mean, I don't know exactly. It's not that, because it was like straight side.
No,
and,
I know where you're talking about. Sorry.
I think I saw it for a very split second.
it's so weird out of nowhere. Next,
Oh, okay.
Well, it's more of a 3/4, I think. But yeah, you're right. That is, it's a much.
Her eyeballs are out there.
Yeah. Yeah, the shapes of faces in this show are interesting. So yeah, at this point, after, she's very happy to get her rollback, Coach McGurk walks up and he's like, hey, I heard you got dumped. Brendan's like, how fast? Yeah, the news travels fast.
I did write. Coach laughs at children's pain.
Yeah. So the next scene, Brendan is venting to Melissa. So he feels like he got played. Melissa points out he's playing the game of love. When you play the game of love, somebody always gets hurt. Brendan said he's going to turn his chips in because he knows what his cards are. He doesn't have a good hand. So
No one to fold them.
this is when Brendan confronts Mitch, who's sitting on the bleachers. I love this part. He's asking Mitch, how you doing? He's like, I'm doing good.
I'm doing real
Put an
good.
extra O in that good. I'm doing so good.
Nice.
So
I love when he says, "Don't lay it out in chronological order."
yeah, when Brendan's like, you told me to break up with her, and then you guys, he's like, oh, don't lay it out in chronological order like that. That makes me sound bad.
That just sounds like a coincidence.
Yeah. Mitch says it's he knows it looks bad, but it's just a coincidence. And then that scene pretty much ends with Mitch saying he's going to a flick with his lady. Brendan is a little upset. Paula is on the porch talking on the phone. Classic Paula Poundstone talking on the phone, saying things weren't that serious. They're kids. They pass notes. They just want to be with the most popular kid in school. She talks about a time where she ran into an old classmate, and he mentioned as a compliment, all the other guys like the pretty girls, but I always liked you.
That hurt.
Oof.
That hurt me.
I did write that down too.
Yeah.
Is this and that was Paula's last scene?
Yeah.
No, she has one more scene where she's sitting on the front porch with Brendan talking.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but this is her second to last.
But I always wanted to be with... I love that last line that she says where, he says that line and he expected me to melt into his hands.
Yeah. So next we have the Casablanca spoof that they're doing. And this one I can just play it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let's do that. This is the Casablanca spoof. Dwayne on
Hello, Lonnie.
piano.
Hello, Mitch.
Hello, Brendan.
Of all the places, the joints that you walk into mine, didn't you?
I sure did.
I've come to a decision, Lonnie.
Yes?
Look, I've been doing a lot of
Blur.
thinking, and I think you gotta get out of here. You gotta take Mitch with you. You gotta leave. You gotta split, see?
No, Brendan,
That's
no.
the way it's gotta be.
Say it isn't so.
I'm giving you these letters of transit.
I want to stay here with
Letters
you,
of transit,
Brendan.
letters of transit. Take them.
I don't want to go with Mitch. I want to stay with you, Brendan.
No, you two are better off together, you see?
Oh, if that's what you want.
But before you go, Dwayne, you mind playing that old number? You know the one.
It's our song.
Yes, it is. Hey, let me buy you two a drink. There you go.
Aren't you going to have some?
No, thank you. I had some earlier.
Well, then here's to Brendan.
Clink.
Oh, what is this?
Oh, I'm not sure the name of that drink. What do you call that again, Eugene?
Eugene is the bartender.
Yep.
I thought it was going to be poison when I first watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Random line. Let us transit. A random line my brother and I will.
Just say letters of transit.
Let us a transit.
I go back and forth on this because of how right in your face it was, but I love how Brendan uses his art to process his emotions, but then it's clearly just trying to, she really wanted me, but I gave her to Mitch, and
Right.
just to make himself feel better.
When Brendan says, Dwayne, play that song, he plays a piano version of one of the Home Movies theme songs.
Oh.
I was trying.
He does the piano version, so. And then Melissa even says he's playing her song. So I thought that was a cute little Easter egg.
Love that.
I like that too.
So now we're at the penultimate scene. We have Brendan sitting on the porch with his mom and Josie, asking his mom. This is one of the first times he asked about the details of his mom and dad's divorce. He asks if it was a long time coming, or did she just give it to him, or whatever. And she did say it was a long time coming, but she said, keep in mind that you and Josie had nothing to do with this. And Brendan's like, oh, I didn't think we did until now.
I expected that scene to go a little bit heavier. I don't know why I keep expecting the mom to kind of brush it under the rug and to be not, forthcoming with her son, but she tends to do that pretty frequently.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird the boundaries with her again, where she's such a good parent in some aspects and then says the most out of pocket stuff in others. I know a lot of that had to do with Paula Poundstone, and kind of her comedic styles. So, but yeah, it's a very interesting character. But I think ultimately, like we said before, at the end of the day, she absolutely loves and supports Brendan unconditionally. And I think regardless of some of the things she says and does, that's going to be always what shines through.
I really like that.
Yeah.
I also like that that's her last scene of the show now.
Yeah, that is really nice. It was very nice. Brendan he says he's going to spend some time being single. Paula says, yep, you're free as a bird. Brendan makes a comment, it's a new chapter in his life. And she says she's excited to read it. A bestseller even.
Cute.
And then Brendan said, yeah, it's going to be a bestseller. I'm only going to make one. To which her final joke says, and it'll sell like a hot cake.
We love Paula.
Yes.
We stand Paula.
I don't want to judge both actresses who did the part, but I am very interested to see how they differ.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. And then as we pan out of that final scene with Paula Poundstone as Paula Small, in the back of my head, I'm like, oh shit, did I not see when it was? And then as they back out, we have the gnome in the front yard.
Yeah.
Should we be keeping track of where each gnome was?
I just note if we found it or not.
Yeah.
I didn't note where it was, but I can't. It's only been the 3.
Yeah, we should probably
I can,
start.
I can
doing
start a gnome tracker.
Okay.
Yeah,
you
let's
want to
do
do
it.
that?
Yeah.
All right.
That way we can kind of, map it out. And maybe the final episode we'll go through all the places the gnome, or the best places
The
they were.
gnome montage.
Yeah, I already know kind of one of my places that it was. Yeah. Final scene. Holy cow. One of my favorites. McGurk is belting Eugene in the side of the head with soccer balls, throwing and kicking them. Very, you know what? I see why he coaches soccer now. He is very accurate with these shots to the side of Eugene's face. One of Brendan's really funny lines, he's like, I don't know if it's because Eugene is a foreigner or he's littler than you. It's like, but I find this extremely funny.
Yeah. I don't know if it's I'm racist or what but it's so funny here, Coach.
So funny.
I really liked that. I think that was a very good end scene.
Yeah. Yep. Because we're gonna fade to black, and that is the end of season 1, episode 5, the technically 1999 season 1 UPN finale of Home Movies.
Dang.
And it's wild on this. Did you feel like this last episode you could see any reason why UPN would not want to bring it back besides how ugly it is? It
was a different time in 99.
It really was. And I think, unfortunately, the quality, obviously, I love this show. The quality from the beginning, even to now, episode 5, we've gotten so much better in quality, so much better in storytelling, so much, you know what I mean? That if you're going off of the first 2 episodes or even 3 episodes, you're going to be like, yeah, it's just not there. Not knowing by the end, like there is a reason this got picked up by Adult Swim. This was a charming show.
I'm coming around to it.
Yeah.
Did you have more that you were going to say there?
I just like that it pushes the boundaries. Like he gets a supportive mom. A supportive single mom. It's a very strong figure that you didn't see in the fucking 90s.
Yeah.
So like the
absolutely.
fact that they were able to do, like, the fact that it got canceled off, that is crazy, but it's also like, of course it was, because it's
Yeah.
1999.
Well, and also the channel UPN, it wasn't really the fit.
Yeah.
It wasn't the fit. I think Adult Swim is where it really
was UPN like one of like the non-cable channels that you had to pay for?
I believe you could get it. I want to say around here it was channel 50 if you had like the antenna.
Okay. Yeah. So it wasn't like one of the main free ones.
No.
Okay.
It's because I was really floored in the last episode when she was like, "If you meet a boy or a girl or a boy," I was genuinely really floored when I heard that.
We love that.
Yeah, I was like, "Damn, I."
Paula's an ally.
Yeah, exactly. Just the show, like, I think that says a lot about like comedians, especially good comedians that like have been around people. They understand like that's humanity and everything. So I really,
Paula Poundstone was an openly gay comedian in the 90s. So
that makes sense.
I forgot you told us that in I think the first episode when you're going over everything.
Yeah,
I think it was a really good end to the overall, first 5 episods.
Right.
I don't know. Did we want to go into our rating of it or?
Sure.
Yeah. I will say, just to add one last thing for the Paula, I think I said at the beginning I preferred the second Paula, but rewatching and definitely, on my end, like kind of doing deep dives into these episodes made me really love and appreciate Paula Poundstone as Paula Small even more.
Yeah.
I think the comedian actress who takes the role of Paula from here does a fantastic job. I think she stays really true to the character.
Yeah.
But before we started doing this, I was very like, I don't really like Paula Poundstone as Paula Small, but I've really kind of turned that opinion around completely. Being able to dive into these episodes a little bit more.
Yeah, not as someone who has not experienced home movies. I just really liked that first episode when she came. Like, Brendan showed her his movie, and he's like, "What do you think?" She's like, "I'm gonna be there. You're gonna mention me in your Oscars." Like, just that first sentence that she said, I was like, "This is a different character.
Yeah,
This is a different story," and I really liked it. And do you think she would have stuck around if they didn't cancel it immediately? If they
It sounds like she made it pretty clear that, because she was a very popular comedian, she had a huge following, and she made it pretty clear her following didn't feel like the show was kind of her vibe. Even though we watch this and we say, "Oh my gosh, this isn't perfectly," her general audience just wasn't really feeling it.
That's fair.
So
I mean, to each their own. And it just to know how insanely rare it is for a show to get canceled and then picked up.
Yeah.
Is like I can only name a couple off the top of my head. Like Brooklyn Nine-Nine is one of the only other ones I can think of who got canceled and then picked up by another studio.
Right.
Futurama one?
Futurama got
canceled
fucking juggled
many times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Around the same time, Family Guy got canceled and then brought back because of DVD sales.
Yeah, it's wild because now Family Guy is such. I hate Family Guy, but it's now a staple of our of our culture, and it's so pop culture. And then home movies came back, and then it became a success. So it does make me sad for all the other shows that got canceled that could, if they had a future, how amazing they could have been.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful that Adult Swim picked it up. Like Adult Swim is one of those channels that really does do great things for the artist.
Yeah. And maybe it was the fact that UPN, was just a broadcast channel that you could get with antenna.
Yeah.
And then Adult Swim is like a paid cable channel. Maybe they had more money for budget. They could,
That makes sense.
give them more time, more money. Yeah, no, they definitely saw something here. And, they picked it up and revived it, and I think we're all the better for it.
Yeah. Well, with not even seeing the Adult Swim episodes yet, I just know it's a better fit for them, just overall, just
Oh, for sure.
knowing the other shows that are on Adult Swim.
They're not going to have the word Jesus bleeped out.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. So, all right, do we want to give this one a grade?
Sure.
Let's give it a grade. Who wants to go first?
I went first last time.
I can go. I really did like this episode. I had a thing when I was a kid when I would watch TV shows. My favorite episodes of the TV shows were the episode when there was a love interest of any kind. I really liked that. And I like how the whole situation with Brendan and how it went down. Mitch Hedberg's always really good. I really did like the opening, the cold open of Coach and Eugene, and then the end of Coach Eugene. Like it just had a great story. I gave it an A.
Nice.
It was I really liked this episode.
Yeah. I'm going to give it an A too. I really liked it. It was it's pretty good.
Hell yeah.
There's no monkey.
No monkey.
No monkey in it. So
Well, I guess this is the second episode that we have to call Fonzie.
hell yeah.
Because
Hey,
all around.
Fonzarelli.
Are we gonna have a Fonzie like Hall of Fame, like a Fonzie of Fame?
Sure, yeah.
Hall
We
of
could.
Fonzie.
Yeah. Some Arthur Fonzarelli.
I love this episode. I love how it shows kind of what bringing a fourth person into a 3-person dynamic can sometimes do. I think it was done really well. I like Melissa Sass. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
what
yeah.
it is.
I love Melissa.
Melissa
Yeah.
Sass
Yeah.
is, but yeah, I love Melissa. I love her sass. So, kind of seeing her get pushed to the side and then getting her retribution, that felt good.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
I like. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say we need Marson's grade for Jason.
Okay, I was just gonna say with the Melissa thing is I was so worried about her character of her just being this smart, nice girl who happens to be their friend thing that the 90s are known for, and I like that she's like standing up and just not putting up with anyone's shit and just like throwing it right back in their
Hell
face.
yeah, Melissa.
Yeah.
Love that.
I'm hoping that her character evolves even more from that, but I really like her character. Jason, on the other hand,
He wasn't gross.
he wasn't super gross, but he was kind of like a dick, and he was like
Yeah.
first off, he was gross. He was picking his nose in front of everybody, and that wasn't like the worst thing in the world. But then
Just that one scene.
just the
Yeah.
one scene. But then he's like, I hate her. And that the line is very funny. I like it, but I disagree with it wholeheartedly. We're not here to make friends. We're here to make movies. I disagree completely.
I disagree too, but it's a fucking hilarious line.
Oh
that I
yeah,
love.
no. He makes me laugh. He does
Yeah.
make me laugh, but the grossness just
Between that line and who the real loser is here? The public.
Yes.
and he picked me.
Smart.
I agreed with him wholeheartedly. At
They
that
see the
point.
product.
Yeah.
And the
Hot and
product
cold.
isn't there.
Jason is.
I've had many conversations with Nate when we're in the editing bay and we're just like, no, I want this. And I'm like, I want this. So the argument of creative control hits me and I get very pretentious very quickly.
I like Jason in this episode. So.
Yeah.
All right. What's your overall Jason grade for this
B.
episode?
I gave him a B.
That's not
for
bad.
Booger.
B for Booger.
B for Booger. Okay.
I like that.
It's not bad because he had a little bit of it, but And he is very redeemable as far as comedy because, like, immediate cut, I've abducted her. Like, that's very
That's perfect.
Yes.
That was perfect.
All right. Okay. We're getting there.
Yeah. So that's going to be it for the episode. Anything we want to plug or promote?
My Instagram that is inserted here.
Oh, yes. Adele is her Instagram for art, which is, of course,
Artisanal of Oddity. ARTIS Anal of Oddity.
I really love that name.
Oh, thanks,
Perfect
guys.
name.
It's
Oh
so
my God.
good. So
Yeah.
creative. No one's done it before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the most basic fucking name.
Adele's art.
Adele's art by Adele.
You're,
That's all it's gonna
you're
be.
like, let me cut the legs out from under that bit real
No,
quick.
I love it. I love it. Marcin.
Oh yes, okay. So I got a lot of projects all the time. Go listen to my high school teen detective story, Puzzle Valley. It's on Eldritch Journeys on anywhere you can get podcasts. It's a murder mystery. It's an audio drama. I put a lot of work into it. It's very personal to me. I love it. There's going to be a sequel series coming out at some point in the future called Puzzle Valley 2000. Adele is a part of it, and I am super excited for it. It's like
Same.
it's like 4 years and 4 years in the making at this
Yeah,
point. I've
I
written a
get
lot
it.
for it. And then I'm also doing Season of the Curse 2 that Tim and Adele are helping me with to plug my other friend, Punkin Nonstop. He is on YouTube. His name's Nate. Punkin Nonstop. He does a lot of video game content. Love him. I'm going to go shooting tomorrow with him. Not guns, but film. We're going to do for the Season of the Curse 2. And in the meantime, you can go watch Season of the Curse, which is the original on my channel, Splathouse Ideas. You know, it was an old college film of us, Halloween musical comedy. We love it. I can't wait for everybody to see how good the sequel's going to be.
It's gonna be great.
I'm excited.
There was a split second where I thought you were talking about guns, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
What
no.
the shit?
That
That is out of character.
Dude, guns are scary.
They
Guns
are.
is scary. I agree.
Guns kill
I agree.
people.
And as always, this podcast is brought to you by the Happy Corner Podcast. They are nice enough to let us use their recording studio. So please check out the Happy Corner Podcast. They stream 3 Sundays a month at 1:45 Central on Twitch and YouTube, the Happy Corner Podcast, or just search the Happy Corner Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. That's going to do it for this episode of Rewatching Home Movies and the UPN 5. Join us next week for Season 1, Episode 6, Director's Cut. If you liked what you heard, check out our Linktree at Linktree/RHMpod. There you can like, follow, and subscribe. Send us an email or leave us a 5-star review. We will read 5-star reviews on the podcast. On behalf of myself, Tim, and my co-hosts, Marcin and Adele, thank you for rewatching home movies with us. We'll see you next week. Bye.